Welcome to EduRev, your one-stop destination to decode daily current affairs with clarity, relevance, and a sharp UPSC focus. If you're preparing for the Civil Services examination, remember this. Current affairs are not about news consumption, they're about issue comprehension. So today, let's not just read the news of 1st February 2026. Let's understand it, connect it to the syllabus, and extract exam-ready insights. GS Paper 3, Economy. Economic Survey 2025 to 26 and India's Space Sector Context. The Economic Survey 2025 to 26 reviews India's space sector at a time when expectations from private players are rising, but government budgets remain almost stagnant. What is happening? India's space program is no longer just about ISRO-led missions. Since the 2020 space sector reforms, private companies have been allowed to build satellites, launch vehicles, and provide space services. Institutions like InSpace and commercial arms like NSIL were created to enable this transition. However, the survey flags a key concern. Capital expenditure on space is stagnating. Revenue expenditure, maintenance, operations is rising. This indicates that while India is maintaining its existing capabilities, investment in next-generation innovation may be insufficient. India has launched nearly 400 foreign satellites between 2015 and 2024, earning foreign exchange, but deeper issues like R&D funding, quality assurance, and long-term competitiveness remain unresolved. GS Paper 3, Economy. Shifting the fiscal anchor. From fiscal deficit to debt-to-GDP ratio. Context. From FY 2026 to 27, India will move away from focusing only on the fiscal deficit and instead anchor its fiscal policy to a medium-term debt-to-GDP ratio. What does this mean? Earlier, India focused on annual fiscal deficit targets. Now, the emphasis is on overall debt sustainability. The government aims to bring debt down to around 50% of GDP by 2031, from over 56% in 2026. This approach gives flexibility. During economic shocks, leads to higher borrowing allowed. Over the medium term, leads to debt must decline. But challenges remain. High borrowings. Future liabilities like the 8th Pay Commission states rising debt levels. Impact of tax cuts and GST uncertainties. GS Paper 3, Economy. Why India's EV battery PLI scheme is falling short. Context. India's 18,100 crore rupees ACC PLI scheme aimed to build domestic EV battery capacity and reduce dependence on China. But progress has been extremely slow. What's the issue? Against a target of 50 gigawatt-hours, only 1.4 gigawatt-hours has been installed so far. Key problems include unrealistic timelines for gigafactories, heavy dependence on China for raw materials, strict domestic value addition norms, selection of inexperienced new entrants. No incentive money has been released because firms failed to meet milestones. GS Paper 2, Governance. India's low public health spending. Context. Despite ambitious promises in the National Health Policy 2017, India continues to underinvest in public health. What's the reality? Target: 2.5% of GDP by 2025. Centre's actual spending: 0.29% of GDP. States have increased spending, but centre's contribution has declined. Health cess is often replacing, not supplementing health budgets. Globally, India spends far less per capita than even neighboring countries like Sri Lanka or Bhutan. Why does this happen? Political preference for visible infrastructure. fragmented health financing, over-reliance on private healthcare, no legally binding roadmap. Paper 2, Polity, 34th Foundation Day of the National Commission for Women. Context. The NCW marked its 34th Foundation Day with a focus on women's health as empowerment. Key points to remember. Statutory body under the NCW Act 1990. Investigates, safeguards, reviews laws, takes suo motu action. Has civil court powers but only recommendatory authority. Recent initiatives include helplines, cyber safety campaigns, leadership programs. GS Paper 2, Polity. Menstrual health. Declared a fundamental right under Article 21. Context. In Dr. Jaya Thakur versus Union of India, the Supreme Court recognized menstrual hygiene as part of the right to life. What did the court order? Free biodegradable sanitary pads in schools, functional gender-segregated toilets, curriculum reform to remove stigma. Linkage with Article 14, 21 and 21. GS Paper 3, Science and Technology. Space spin-offs. Context. Technologies developed for space missions are transforming healthcare on Earth. Examples include MRI and CT imaging, wearables and remote monitoring, telemedicine via satellites, water purification and infection control. GS Paper 1, Geography. Bomb cyclone context. A bomb cyclone is forecasted to hit the eastern United States. What is a bomb cyclone? Pressure drops 24 millibars in 24 hours. Formed when cold polar air meets warm ocean air. Causes blizzards, heavy snow, and violent winds. For daily current affairs, structured notes, MCQs, mains-ready explanations, and complete UPSC preparation, download the EduRev app today. Available on the Google Play Store and iOS App Store. Keep learning, stay consistent, and remember, UPSC is not about reading more, it's about understanding better. See you tomorrow on EduRev.